You're talking about what Trump did wrong, how Fauci is bad, what you did good, and how RFK has something to do with this, all in the same sentence. Politicians may not be dumb, but people certainly are.
I'm the only one running that is talking about bringing accountability for what happened to this country during COVID. It's one thing to make a judgment call that's wrong, but it's another thing to ignore evidence. It's another thing to lie. When you tell people, like CDC did, that if you take an mRNA shot, you will not get COVID, and you still stand by that when it's obvious that people are getting it, when you're having the FDA approve an mRNA shot for 6-month-old babies where there's no evidence that that's benefiting them, this is a swamp. This needs to be cleared out. I will do that. Here's a concern, I think, with the Trump nomination.
Stop talking. I know I keep bringing it up, but I can't not hear it. I hear a good point. I'm ready to jump in and be like, hey man, that was a great point. And well, also, but then, bro, just stop.
Is RFK Jr. running as an independent? He would be the vessel for, and there's a lot of anti-Fauci, anti-lockdown voters who are upset about it.
And I get that those things are connected tangentially, but you're talking about what Trump did wrong, how Fauci is bad, what you did good, and how RFK has something to do with this, all in the same sentence. Politicians may not be dumb, but people certainly are. You need to dumb it down. I'm barely following you.
RFK would be the vessel in that scenario, whereas me as the candidate, I'm the vessel for that. Everyone knows I'm gonna hold people accountable. In fact, I'm gonna be in New Hampshire.
So what I just heard is that if COVID was the biggest thing, then vote RFK. That's what I just heard this man tell me. That RFK is going to be the vessel. What are you doing? What are you doing? Exactly. Why are you should be saying as little as you can. Every word that you say is possible to be spun in the media. Like Armand Defoe said earlier, 20 words or less. You should have sharp sound bites for every little thing. We should be saying, oh, I've heard him say that 7 million times. You know, it's a good line, but I've heard him say it. That should be the issue that we have with Ron DeSantis. Not that he's all just saying stuff and things. CT said, have you all heard the theory that he has Asperger's? I don't think. That should be the next poll. That is going to be the next poll. So right now we are running. I'm going to run this poll again. Actually, I'm not even going to because I thought that, you know, this would be good for him, but it's not looking that way. So let's end this poll. We have a grand total of 5% of you said that Ron has even a chance. And if we combine the 38% that said only if Trump is removed, then if Trump is removed, still, not even half of you think that he even has a chance. Pathetic. So let's go to this poll here. Do you think Ron, let's just say, is on the spectrum? Let's not be let's not try to diagnose anybody, but do you think he is on the spectrum? Ron DeSantis said, but the Pfizer CEO said it's 100% effective. Of course. According to some small study group and after.
Bingo.
Yep. Guamtech said 8 humanized mice say it's safe. Nick said Ron's being like me, but because he needs a sign saying, help, I'm talking and I can't shut up. Yes. Thank you, CT. No offense to folks with Asperger's. You can be highly successful with that diagnosis. Just explains his social quirks, which again is why we just changed it to, do you think he is on the ASD spectrum? Stephanie Miller said, I thought he was a great candidate before. I remembered saying I hope he runs, but I can't honestly say where that changed. And I think a lot of people feel this way as well. Because it's not like he's done any big things. It's just that everything he's done has been like, oh, okay. I was expecting a little bit of this, but okay. And for whatever reason, we all had our expectations really high and he just didn't meet them. He just didn't meet them. Zibby says, come on, brother. So Zibby's got all this stuff. And Zibby says ADD at least. Yeah, probably, but who doesn't? So the Soul says, I'm going to say no, and I don't mind saying in regards to Asperger's. My youngest son has that now, called high functioning autism, and I'm just not seeing it. Not saying I'm right. Not saying I'm right though, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it can be hard to tell, and Asperger's, or that type of that area of the spectrum, can be very difficult to tell. If you have a more severe case, it can be easier to tell, and you may have some things that functionally you are not as good as other people, whereas higher functioning stuff is more just like social quirks, and some of us are just weird. Like, I am not great socially in every situation, but I don't have autism. I'm just weird sometimes. But so she's saying she don't see it. I definitely don't have the eye for it. But I do see some quirks that I see are not that. Let me just say, I see the quirks that I would expect a neurotypical person to adjust over time. This glossing over thing, that should be such an easy fix. And the fact that he doesn't do it says to me that it's likely that somebody is telling him, okay, when you make a point, you got to stop. But that he has some of these, and again, maybe it's not autism at all. Maybe it's some other completely separate thing. But there's definitely something, just like one click to the left, if you know what I mean. Context of Ron has the same energy as the neighbor's kid that just doesn't know when to stop talking. Maybe even hardworking, but you just can't stand to listen to them for more than 5 minutes. It's tough, but how are you gonna vote for somebody like that? How are you gonna vote for somebody like that? Nah, Nick. See, you don't need a mute button, because we can just be like, Nick, you lost us. And you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I was saying this thing, I don't know. Or you'll just be like, oh, okay, yeah, I was rambling, never mind. You don't need a mute button, because you're aware that it's happening, and you're not offended by us just pointing it out, because we're not trying to be offensive, and it works. It works. Suzanne said Trump is definitely a neuro atypical. Not convinced with DeSantis. They're definitely, that's apples to oranges, though. I mean, I am not going to have who has more severe autism between the two of them. That is not a conversation. That's not doing that. So do you think? I think he's primed to run again later. Even with this ruined campaign, he's still young, and if he learns from his mistakes in this campaign, he is a great operator. His Florida history proves it. He needs a better team behind him. Yep. Well, I hope they address that, because a lot of people have been talking about that.
RFK would be the vessel in that scenario, whereas me as the candidate, I'm the vessel for that. Everyone knows I'm gonna hold people accountable. In fact, I'm gonna be in New Hampshire this week with Florida Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo, Dr. Ladapo. He's one of the few, and he's really the only person in a position of power that's actually.
And he got criticized a lot as well.
Well, that's what I told him when I hired him. I said, listen, what you're doing, you're going to be the only one in position of power to actually take these, because that was one of the things early on with me when I was making these decisions. It wasn't just that it was unpopular. I could not get a doctor to stand with me and say I was right. And a lot of them would say it privately, but they were scared.
All their interviews would get taken down on YouTube.
Yeah, and that's, again, going back, I'm trying not to, on the one hand, put my foot in one camp and say DeSantis bad, DeSantis good. I'm trying to just judge what's happening on the screen as it's happening. And again, we can't forget how hard he did fight for these things that matter very, very, very much, at least to me. I know they matter to some of you guys, but at least they very much matter to me. And so, as much as I'm willing to say, as a candidate, I won't, talk down on the man. I won't do that. I want to post that he needs Trump's PR team. Does Trump have a PR team? I think Trump is the PR team. And even said if he says vessel one more time, to be fair, I rewound it. But you're right. So agrees with Zippy. Growing up in the 90s, it was just an everyday insult. Just saying like, dude, cowbunga, or eat my shorts. Yeah. Retard and the F slur, which we're still working on getting that one back into the lexicon. But at least I can say retarded. If I say the other one, it's not gonna be good. But those two should not have been taken off the table. I will die on that hill, just not on YouTube. Yeah, exactly. We're all on the same team. We're all on the same team.
They would get So, but Joe, I think, is an example of what you need to be able to deal with this medical.
So okay, so let's go. Okay, fair enough, because even Republicans
I didn't think of this because we always assign this to the lefties, but he did go to Harvard and Yale. If he's saying, it sounds like he's overeducated. A lot of that academia. Spot on. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.